universities, there are also many work opportunities for international students, and for students, it is also possible to work during the study period. And last but not least, Italy is a country known for the cultural heritage and also for the student-friendly environment. And it has also many opportunities for international students and for young graduates. Now we will see which university has offered the medicine in English program. For example, in Milan, we have Milano Statale, Milano Bicocca, Università San Raffaele, and Humanitas. While in Rome, we have the University Sapienza di Roma, Roma Tor Vergata, Università Cattolica, Campus Biomedico, and the Unicamillus University. There are also other cities in Italy offering the medicine in English programs, such as Bari, Pavia, Bologna, Messina, Torino, Napoli, Padova, and Parma. As we will see, the requirement to enter not only the medicine program, but all the universities in Italy is to have 12 years of schooling. In case students have 10 or 11 years, it is possible to demonstrate the complementary studies, attending 1 or 2 years of university in the home country, in order to reach the requirement of the 12 years of schooling. Then the program of medicine, both in English and in Italian, has as requirement to pass the entrance exam. In this case, it is the IMAT. And there are different requirements for Europeans and Italian citizens and non-European students. For example, for non-European students, it is necessary to do the pre-enrollment procedures, contacting the Italian diplomatic representation in the student's country. And students should translate the high school diploma into Italian, and ask the embassy for the declaration of value, a document called Dichiarazione di valore in loco. Then students should apply for an entry visa, and for some programs, for example, if the program is in Italian, it is required an Italian language certificate, while for certain programs in English, it will be required an English certification. While, for example, European or Italian citizens do not have, of course, to require an entry visa, they should just translate the high school diploma in case it is not an Italian diploma, and request and show the declaration of value, dichiarazione di valore in loco. Then the procedure to apply to the entrance exam, it's indicated, it's through the Universitaly site, and at the moment the decree for the IMAT has not been issued yet. But if we consider, for example, last year information, the exam was in September. So that now we will speak about the IMAT, and then about our preparation course. So my colleague Enrico will introduce you the IMAT test and our preparation courses.
Hello everyone, my name is Enrico. Nice to have you here online. Together with me, there is also Giuseppe Macera, who is one of our teachers for the IMAT preparation course. So let's go deeper into the subject of the test and our program. First of all, the IMAT, which will be most probably in September, is structured on 60 questions. It's a multiple choice test, and following last year's structure, you will have 15 questions of biology, 10 for logics, 10 for general knowledge, 15 for chemistry, and 10 questions on physics and math. This is important because the structure of our program reflects the balance of the number of questions of the test. So a lot of importance will be given, of course, to all the subjects, but biology and chemistry are like 30 questions, which means that half of the course, half of the hours of our course will deal with biology and chemistry. It's important to say that in this test, each question has 1.5 points for a correct answer, 0 points for no answer, and there is a malus of 0.4. This is important when we have to deal with a specific strategy during the test, because answering incorrectly means to lose points. And one of the most important issue at stake here for the test is time management. So something very important and about which we deal during the program, the preparation course, is doing a lot of exercise, a lot of practice, because we think that focusing too much on theory in only 105 hours of course is not the best strategy. And at this point, I would give you the first advice for you and for your students, which would be to start studying now. We will issue you, or we can provide you, the syllabus for biology, for chemistry, and for all the subject of the test. And my advice is to start now from the theory, because your students can start studying by themselves contents of biology, chemistry, math, and physics. And then during our course, which can be intended like a final step, we will practice that theory doing mock tests. So if you consider the structure of our program, which is in the following slides. Next slide. Okay. Next one. Okay. Our course is structured in two formats. One format is our extensive mode. The extensive course will start in April, on the 17th of April, and will last around 10 weeks. Meanwhile, we have also an intensive course, which is a 3 weeks intensive preparation course. And obviously, in those 3 weeks, there won't be so much space to deal with the theory. A lot of space will be given to practice and to do mock tests in class, so that your students may acquire the concrete and the correct strategy to deal with the test in 100 minutes. And we can go back again to the previous slide. Sorry, Silvia. Okay, and you have to take into consideration that the IMAT, which will be most probably in September, had around 9,000 candidates in 2021 and 12,000 candidates in 2022. And this means that around with around or less than 1,000 spots available. This means that there is one spot available every 11, 12 candidates. So this is the percentage. And take into consideration that the lowest score to enter immediately in an Italian university, in a medical school in Italy, it was 42.8. So here comes my second advice. Once you start studying biology or chemistry by yourself, together with that, I advise you to assess yourself, to try to do a mock test or a previous IMAT test to understand to assess yourself to see how much you score. If you do this now and you do it every month, you can check, you can understand if you are progressing. So from now on, you should try to do one test every month. Okay, I kindly ask you all to switch on the microphone. And it's very important to assess yourself to understand at which point you are starting. Studying by yourself and assess yourself for now. It's important also to say that 42.8 it was the minimum score to enter immediately. But then more spots available will be released in the sense that there will be the possibility to have more spots, and that score, that minimum score, may decrease. For example, last year, that minimum score reached 39.8 points. This happens because out of the 12,000 candidates doing the IMAT last year, not everyone accepted the spot. The reason is that many Italian students, they try to do the IMAT because they try to do first the Italian admission test, and as a second option, they do the IMAT test. So once they got accepted in the Italian course, they refuse the IMAT spot available. So there will be, after the first round, there will be more spots available for international students. Next slide. Our next slide deals with again our proposal, our offer for our IMAT course, and all our schools offer the IMAT preparation course in July. As you see, Milan, Rome, and Florence, we do offer it this coming summer from the 3rd of July until the 21st of July, both presential and online. In Milan, we are offering it also in the month of August, presential, and we have also an offer, as I was saying before, from April online. This is an extensive format, which of course lasts more. It's about 10 weeks. It's a 10 weeks program, and it will most probably take place in the Italian afternoon around 2 p.m. for 2-3 times per week. All our courses have the same amount of hours, the same amount of classes, and all our courses, they will deal with all the topics of the test, as I was saying before: biology, chemistry, general culture, logics, math, and physics. Of course, the language will be English. It is obvious, but it is very important that your students manage an upper intermediate level of English, I would say at least B2, in order to do the preparation course, of course, the test, and later the English university course. The price for all our schools is the same, is 1,780 euros, both for online, on-site, July, August, intensive and extensive format, because it is the same amount of hours and structure. Thanks. This is only an example of the structure of a preparation course. For the extensive program, imagine to have this kind of schedule. Is a couple of hours per day, from Monday to Friday. For the intensive program, there might be the possibility to have sessions also on Saturdays, since our teachers, they do work or they are in the hospital, and therefore it's very important to be available also on Saturday, at least here in Milan. An intensive schedule means, as you see, from 10 or 9 of the morning until 6, 7 p.m. And again, there might be the possibility to have sessions also during evening. So it's a very intensive schedules, which last for 3 weeks. I already anticipated you regarding the subject, the topics of the test. So both for on-site and online courses, you will find the same content. There is, of course, there are, of course, science-based subjects, such as biology, chemistry, math, and physics. There will be time allocated for theory explanation through PowerPoint or explanations from the tutors, especially for biology and chemistry, but take into consideration that with 140 classes of 45 minutes, that in other terms are 105 hours, there is not enough time and space to explain all the biology syllabus in theory. So we have to allocate a lot of time also for practical exercises in class. And our course has a minimum of 5 participants, and again, a good knowledge of English, as I was saying, at least I would say a B2 level. And here I need help from our tutor, Giuseppe, who will give you a brief example of what we do and how we do it. Giuseppe is here.
Yes. Hi,
Ciao,
everyone.
Giuseppe.
Hi, everyone. My name is Giuseppe, and I am a math and physics tutor of Leonardo da Vinci in Milan. So I'm going to cover today with you some sections of math and physics. And let's start, everyone, with math. So First important concept here is that we are going to follow in the syllabus the ministerial program for the secondary school for all the IMAT lessons. So we are going to basically cover 4 main topics: algebra and numerical sets, functions, geometry, and probability and statistics. We are going to give you, everyone, the possibility to learn these subjects from a theoretical point of view, but exceptionally for practical point of view, because especially in the math and in physics questions, it is very important that you all gain the necessary skills to be able to do the exercises. Now, all the sections are going to require you to be able to use the problem-solving strategies. So this is the first thing that will be introduced during the course. There will be also some questions specifically related to the problem-solving strategies. And if you go to the next slide, Silvia, please, we are going to see some of the examples of questions that you are expected to see in the IMAT course. Now, a lot of these questions are basically designed to be very time draining. Okay, so that means that you are really required to assess yourself and see if you are able to solve the question within the time frame that you are supposed to. Otherwise, you are very invited to, if you find yourself consistently not finishing in time, it really might be worth leaving the maths and especially also the physics question at the end. This is a possibility that you might have. On the right-hand side, on the top, you see a probability question, which also involves the use of problem-solving skills, but some inequalities, you can see from the signs there, are also involved as well. So that means that we really have to make sure that all the participants have the required skills of the GCSE level knowledge of all the schools, basically. You can have some geometry question, which is the question on the bottom, which in the same question, you will find trigonometry, you will find angles, you will find figures. So in this kind of questions, it is also important that you will be able to model the problem, right? Not only understand which kind of formulas, which kind of principle you require to solve this problem, but another important steps for this subject is the modeling itself, right? And this is something that I will really put my attention on. So if you go to the next slide, Silvia, we are going to see some physics now. And again, the principle is the same. We are going to follow the ministerial program for the secondary school. So you are going to see questions and theory about measures, kinematics, dynamics and thermodynamics, fluids, and electrostatic and electrodynamic. But there is something very different, right, for the physics question. It is very possible that in the high school, you didn't cover all these topics, right, for the physics. So we will have to make sure that you will be confident with the commonly examined topics like all these ones that you see here. But we will require you really in some cases to memorize really by rote all the equations that will be provided during the course. Now, the other thing, yes, if you go on the example, it is clear that in some of the physics questions, you will be required to use math as well. So that means that a lot of attention will be put on math, but see, in this example, you see that you will be required to use the square roots, you'll be required to use, manipulations of numbers, and everything all in under 60 seconds. So again, time management will be very important here, and the accent is going to be put very hardly on these aspects. I think that's everything from my side.
Thanks a lot, Giuseppe. I think you gave the right example of what we are going to do in the program, and why then choosing our preparation course. First of all, we were one of the first one to offer in 2014 the IMAT preparation course. So it has been a while since we started this program, and being an international school, we are also familiar with students, international students, and therefore this is a very student-friendly environment here at school, but also, of course, somehow online. We have been organizing and doing classes online on Zoom since even before COVID appeared. And we have also very experienced and specialized teachers like Giuseppe, and we usually have also tutors who pass through this process, which means that some of them were former students who then passed the IMAT and they went studying or they finished their university course here in Italy, and they are now tutors here at Leonardo. So they are very familiar not only with the content itself, but they are very familiar and ready to help your students, knowing what means this process. As Giuseppe highlighted before, the course will help you to manage the time available that you have during the test. This is a key point. That's why I was advising you to start studying before, because an important skill is, of course, knowledge, but that skills has to be acquired before the course. During the course, what we will try to do is to give you a strategy, and there is the space to practice, to do exercises, and to gain confidence with the questions. And then our school, here in our school, there is always an academic advisor with me. My name is Enrico Quaroni, and I will be here assisting the students, especially for those who require to enroll or to sign up for the IMAT test. It's not only a matter of studying and prepare yourself, but it means a lot to understand in which university you want to study, which means in which city you want to live for the next 6 years. And regarding that, I can help you deciding, orientating you. And of course, being an Italian school or a school dealing with international students and teaching Italian to foreigners, your students will have access to our Leonardo Online platform, which means Google Activities for Italian learners. Next slide. Deals with the online or on-site. I was reading the chat before, and I can answer you and tell you that the price for both online and on-site program is the same, so it's 1,780 euros. Online, of course, it will be a real-time program done on Zoom, or also can be on Google Meet. We will use PDF materials, and you may choose between an extensive course online and extensive online or intensive online in July. Why attending online? Of course, if you are living abroad or very far, this is the best option, probably. If you are living, or if you are, for example, I was reading the chat, if you are living in Peru, you may choose this format, the online extensive or intensive program. You will have to check where you can do the IMAT test in September. You may do it in different places in the world, but you need to check which center is an IMAT center near your country or your city. There are international centers allowed to do the IMAT in all over the world, but you have to check the list. We can provide you with assistance with that. And of course, the on-site program is in July, and for Milan also in August, but all our schools, Florence, Milan, and Rome, we are offering the on-site intensive program from the 3rd of July 2023. Of course, we use sometimes also printed materials. We try to avoid as much as possible the use of paper, but to do a mock test is essential to do it also with the printed materials. I think the difference between online and on-site, it's more or less obvious. You may choose to do it here in Milan, Florence, or Rome, depending on your availability, budget also. But the main difference is of course that you have a direct interaction with classmates, with tutors, and with the school itself. The same interaction anyway will happen online, will be of course very open and ready to answer to all your questions also for the online students. It's just that we do that online through Zoom or through an email. And for those students studying here in Milan, Florence, and Rome, we also offer extra activities which are offered to our international students studying Italian. So there is a possibility to have also extra time activities here at school. So these are our contacts, emails, telephone numbers, WhatsApp, and we are now ready to answer to all your questions.
Thank you, Enrico. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Giuseppe. We are now gonna answer all your questions, starting from the first one. The most common one is, will you be sharing the presentation with us? Yes, we will share the presentation with you. You will receive the PowerPoint used in your email as soon as the presentation is over. If you don't, for any reason, you can always email us at milan@scuolaleonardo.com. You have our email here on this slide. How much does the preparation course cost? So you have, I'm just gonna go back to that slide, but it is 1,780 euros, both for the online or presential course. And there is also a registration fee of 70 euros for the presential course and of 30 euros for the online one. Next questions, can the IMAT be taken online? No, you can only take it on site, and you can look on the website what are the closest places where you can take the IMAT in country.
Yes, if you are in Italy, you can choose in one of the universities offering the English program, so around 14, 15 university here in Italy. Otherwise, abroad, there are centers where you can take the IMAT. We can provide that list as well. It's about 15 to 18 international centers. I can't remember them all, but in Madrid, in London, in the US, in Brazil, in São Paulo, and so on.
Okay. Next question. How can we get the contents of the subjects to study right now? If you mean the syllabus for the course, you can just email us and we will send it to you. Again, online fees and campus fees, you find it on the screen right now. Price for 10-week course is the same as the intensive course. It can be online. I confirm the preparation course can also take place online. You just need to pay attention to the difference in the time zone and choose the correct school that does it either in April in Milan or in July, Rome and Florence. This is a very important question. Is it confirmed that the exam is in September? I heard it was going to be in April and or July.
No. So the IMAT is the English test for the 14-15 Italian university offering a medical course in English. The IMAT usually takes place the first or second week of September. In April and July, what takes place is the Italian admission test, and therefore for the Italian course. And for the Italian course, there are 2 dates. The admission test is called Talk Med, and it will be around the 20th of April and around the 15th of July. Those dates will be confirmed as well for the IMAT. They will be confirmed through a ministry decree that usually is published in March. I hope it will be sooner for the Italian admission test, but we have to wait until March for the IMAT. Of course, around March, we will have also the information regarding the number of spots available per university. Hope to have answered your question.
Okay. Oh, please, that answered your question. Next question, the IMAT test is taken in English or Italian? No, it's completely in English because it aims to you will need to enter a fully English course taught here in Italy. So also the test is going to be in English. Can you give some more information about the Leonardo Online platform? That is just a platform on Google Classroom where you will find extra activities and exercises to practice your Italian with keys and also audio exercises. And the platform is available to all our students here at school. The students will receive the code to access the platform here at the front desk. They can just ask here at the front desk. Next question, do you have statistics how much students passed the test and successfully entered university after your prep course? We check the statistics, and according to them, there is a 50% increase in the possibilities of passing the test. So it's a pretty good one because as my colleagues were saying, the course teaches you how to manage your time better. So you're really prepared on how to tackle the test. So it's a pretty high increase in the chances. What is the main difference between the 10 weeks and 3 weeks preparation courses, Enrico?
I would say that for the intensive course, you will have to be ready at the theoretical point of view better than for the extensive format. With this, I mean that for an intensive course, you have less time to prepare, and therefore you have to arrive and consider that intensive course as more or less a last step towards the IMAT. An extensive course means that you have more time during those 10 weeks to study, to practice, and therefore you can take advantage of that. The format is the same, but of course an extensive course means that if you are also finishing your high school, it might be also very tough to do in the morning your high school classes or tests or exams, and in the afternoon attending our course. But that's something that you have to understand if this is your goal. If your goal is to study here in Italy medicine, then you have to put an extra effort about that. And regarding this, I would like to give you my last advice to you students, agency and families, which is always to have ready a plan B, which means what if I can't I don't pass the IMAT? What if the spot available is not in that specific university I want to study in? So be ready to have always a plan B. This is an advice that I would give you. What if I can't enter in Milan? What other university and city I would like to study? And what about the possibility if this year I don't pass the IMAT? This is an option that unfortunately can happen. So you have to be ready also with the plan B.
Okay, thank you, Enrico. Two questions for Anna, I guess. When should the student register for the IMAT exam, and when is the deadline?
So for the IMAT exam, usually the deadline is on the 3rd week of July. Of course, for this year we should wait for the decree with the deadlines, but last year it was until the 3rd week of July.
Okay.
Just take into consideration that here there are at stake two different processes. One process is enrolling at the university, and another process is signing up at the test for the test. To sign up for the test for the IMAT, you have only 3 weeks time, which is not only, but you have 3 weeks time in July to sign up and pay to take the IMAT. If you lose those 3 weeks, you cannot take the IMAT. To enroll at the university, that's something that happens after you take the IMAT, and if your score allows you to enroll, and that's take place around October. To be ready with all the documents to enroll, you can start now contacting, as Anna was saying before, contacting the Italian embassy at home to understand which documents you need to enroll at the university.
Okay, thank you. Hope that answered your question. Another one for Anna is, in Peru, you end high school with 11 years of schooling, since kinder does not count. Is there any chance I can apply without a 12th year?
So as the requirement is to have the 12 years of schooling, it is possible, for example, to attend 1 year of university in your country in order to reach the 12 years requirement, and then during the pre-enrollment process, you will get the declaration of value both for the high school studies and for the university year you took in this case in Peru. But if you do not have the 12 years of schooling this is the requirement for all Italian university, not only for the international medical school.
Okay. Another question by Jose is, do we have a diagnosis exam to know the student level in biology, chemistry, maths, and physics?
We are going to implement this, and we are going to send you a placement test to understand your previous knowledge. This, it will be done once the student will enroll to our program. So we'll test each one of our students to understand the previous knowledge in all the 5 topics.
Okay. Next question by Shireen. Can you share the IMAT centers? Yes, we can. Just email us. I will put our email up on the screen right now. I'm just keeping the questions that we have already answered. Next question is, if a student goes in person to Italy for the preparation course, how would their visa be managed?
Okay, so it depends also on the countries. For countries such as the US or Brazil, students can stay in Italy up to 3 months, 90 days without a visa. While for the university visa application, you should apply in the Italian consulate or Italian embassy of your country. So you should, for example, if you attend our presential course in July, in order then to apply for the university, for the immatriculation visa, you should return to your home country and apply for the immatriculation, for the entry visa for a university. Otherwise, for example, in case it is necessary also to apply for a Schengen visa for a short term, in that case, it is possible to apply for a visa with our certificate of enrollment once you enroll in our preparation course.
Thank you, Anna. Next question. When does the academic year start at university in Italy?
End of October, beginning of November for medical schools. And regarding the international location to take the IMAT, to be a little bit more concrete, I can tell you that there are several centers around the world. For example, in Baku, in Sao Paulo, in Toronto, Nicosia, in China, of course, in Beijing, in France, in Paris, in Germany, in Switzerland, in Zurich, Madrid in Spain, in Athens, Hong Kong as well, New Delhi, and several places here in Italy, of course, on the university. An international location is as well in Poland, in Pakistan. A couple of locations are in Turkey as well, in Saudi Arabia, South Africa, in Dubai, London, and New York. So there are several possibilities to take the IMAT abroad as well.
Awesome. Next question is, will the structure of the exam be like the one of last year?
I don't guarantee it at 100% because we need to wait the ministry decree. Anyway, I don't expect so many major changes, but let's wait for a March decree. I mean, a decree will be published in March, but of course, most probably the topics will be the same. It may vary the number of questions per topic.
Okay. Next question, is the recording of today's session going to be shared with us as well? Yes, you will receive together with the presentation. You will also receive the link to watch the recording on YouTube. Next question, do you provide Italian courses? Yes, we are an Italian language school as well. So we have different kinds of courses, intensive, part-time, online, on-site, for everyone. You can find all information on our website. And again, if you have specific questions, specific needs, you can always email us. We will provide you with every information you need. Tanya asks, considering the IMAT is also for the dentistry course, which are the universities that offer dentistry courses? Enrico?
For dentistry, yes, and there is one university in Siena offering the course in English. And the structure is the same for the English version, for the IMAT.
Okay. Kate asks, we got the curriculum for math and physics. Is there a way we could get the topics for other subjects? Yes, I think it's better if you email us, so we can write it to you in the email. It's better that way. When does the medical intake start in Italy for international students?
Okay, take into consideration these timings. So if the IMAT takes place between the first and the second week of September, the first results will be out after 1 month, 3 weeks to 1 month. And then there is a first round in which more spots will be available. And this happens usually around the 20 or even earlier, the 20th of October. Classes at the university may start in November, around the last week of October, first week of November. And this means that once you get a spot, once you are accepted, you need to enroll within a very few days, 3 maximum to 5 days. You have time to enroll, and therefore to come here and start classes.
Okay, we have a question about the Italian course in medicine, which is it possible to pass the TOLC exam online?
The TOLC exam is online, but at an Italian university. So is a computer-based admission test in Italian and held at an Italian university. At the moment, it is not designed to do it by yourself at home, even if the other TOLC exams, they can be done at home. But for the moment, not the TOLC Med admission test.
Okay, next question. How many students do you have per group, both online and in person?
On site, at least here in Milan, we had around 15 to 20 students per group, both in July and August on site. For the online, the group is smaller, around 5 to 8 students.
Okay, and very general questions. When are the results of IMAT ready?
So the first results, they are published after 20 days after the exams. So the first result that you have to expect is after 3 weeks. from the test date.
Okay, a few more questions for Anna. The student visa will be issued only for the IMAT course, or will the student have any conditional acceptance from university?
So in case students show the embassy all the documentation, it is possible to obtain a visa valid for our preparation course and for the university admission test. But usually for this type of visa, there should be no gap between like the end of the course and the admission test. There could be just, for example, a gap of few days, but not, for example, for entire months. While, for example, if students are going to take first our preparation course and then plan to apply for the immatriculation visa, in case they cannot stay in Italy as tourists and have to apply for the visa, in that case it would be a Schengen visa that and students can apply showing our certificate of enrollment, and then the other documents required are, for example, the health insurance, the proof of accommodation, and bank statement proving that they have funds enough to sustain their living costs in Italy. While for the university immatriculation visa, they should also show the pre-enrollment form. And they will need also the declaration of value that in any case is issued by the Italian consulate or Italian embassy.
Okay, we have a few questions about the procedure and the deadlines on how to enroll to university. So, for example, will the students apply for university before or after the IMAT exam? When should we start the enrollment process? Should we enroll first in university and then register for the IMAT? So maybe we can clarify the deadlines and the procedures.
Okay, again, to enroll at the university, you need to have ready all the documents required by the university, which means that you have to contact, even now, your Italian embassy to understand, to ask which documents you need. And for sure, you will need to have prepared for the enrollment at the university, which you will have to do in October after the IMAT and after that you got a spot. But you need anyway to have ready the following documents: a diploma of your high school, a translation of the diploma, a declaration of value, which is the recognition of your high school, and which means that you can then study here in Italy. And this is the main document that you need to upload once you get accepted at the university. Something else is registering for the IMAT. Registering for the IMAT means to sign up on a specific portal called Universitaly, which you have it in our presentation. You need to log in that portal and register for the IMAT and pay the 120, 130 euros that the IMAT costs. So registering the IMAT can be done only in July, and the IMAT takes place in September. To enroll, you need to contact the Italian embassy and have all your documentation ready to handle them either here on site or online through the specific portal of your chosen university. You will have to enroll at the university only once you get the spot at the university. You can contact the university earlier to check again which documentation is needed, but 99% you need the diploma, the translation, the declaration of value, and this has to be done through the Italian embassy at your country. You just need to contact them and say, I want to study in Italy and want to do a medical school in English. What do I need? And they will provide you this information. If you want to add something, Anna.
No, okay. So I see there are some very specific questions on personal situations. So for these kinds of questions, please feel free to email us. I'll pop up our email address again on screen. So if you have personal questions, specific questions, please email us. A couple more general questions are, is the IMAT necessary for all university where medicine is taught in English?
To study in university here in Italy, you will need for all the courses to go through an admission test. So for the English medical school, there is the IMAT. For the Italian medical school, there is another admission test. If you want to study economics, there is an admission test. And if you want to study biology, there is an admission test. Engineering, architecture, there is an admission test.
Okay, and does the IMAT exam have a fee?
I can't remember exactly the price, but last year it was around 130 euros.
Okay.
Which you will have to pay once you are registering through the University Italy portal within the first 3 weeks of July.
Okay. And what is the minimum score to pass the IMAT? Again, we can give you some statistics.
It
on the
depends
past
by the
couple
university
years.
you are willing to study. There are universities in which is needed an higher score because there are more students willing to study in a specific university. In general terms, last year the minimum score to enter was 39, about 40 points. Which means that that university was, let's say, the last one to accept the last student.
Okay. Again, thank you for all the questions. I see they're very personal ones, so feel free to email us. I think the final one can be, if you can't pass the exam, the next chance will be 1 year later.
Yes. If your dream is to study in Italy in a public university, the IMAT test is the admission test that you need, and that takes place every September. Nevertheless, there is the possibility also to study in a private university. Private university, they have different calendars. For example, at least here in Milan, there are a couple of private university, for example, Humanitas, and San Raffaele. They have a higher cost. They are more expensive, but they do an admission test in February and around April. So this is an extra information you might need.
Okay, I think that is all.
Hello, hi. This is Kemal from Avista. Can I ask a very quick question?
Yeah.
Because the timing is very limited between IMAT and registration universities. The problem is if the student need the visa, first of all, they need to register in the university and the IMAT, and they will get a conditional acceptance letter from the university, I guess, and then they will apply to visa, because there is no time to get a visa between, because they will learn the IMAT score end of the October, and then the first one, and then they will be second term, and then there is only few days to start the school, so they have to be a student visa before September, October, I guess, right? How does it work? You know, first you get a conditional acceptance letter, and do you need to apply different? I mean, can you apply more than one university? How does procedure works? Thank you.
So yes, since students can know if they are admitted, like enrolled in the university once they pass the test, they will have a pre-enrollment form, and this is like a sort of precondition in order to apply for the university enrollment visa, which is a student visa that allows students to take the admission exam. So they should apply for this type of visa with the pre-enrollment procedure that they will complete in the Italian consulate of an embassy. So the first step is to contact the consulate, the Italian representation in the student's country, and start the pre-enrollment procedure. And with the pre-enrollment, the declaration of value, they will be able to apply for the entry visa for the matriculation. Of course, these are the documents they will need for the student visa. The other documents they should prepare are, for example, the health insurance and the proof of accommodation and a bank statement which proves that they have financial support to stay in Italy. So these documents should be already prepared in advance.
Okay, thank you. The last my question, if I can ask, what is the procedure for the transfer students if they are studying medical studies in Europe or in non-Europe countries? Is it possible to transfer that student? Still, do they need IMAT, or how does it work? Thank you.
For transfers, you need to check with the university to which you want to transfer. They are allowed within Italian universities. I think it's possible from an EU countries, but not all. I really can't answer regarding extra EU medical university courses, if they can transfer, for example, from a Chinese university into the Italian. I think they will have to take the IMAT anyway. But the information, this kind of information is better provided by the specific university you want to study in.
Okay, thanks so much.
Prego.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. Again, if you have any specific questions, feel free to email us. And yeah, see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you guys for your time and your information. It was really lovely listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Grazie.
Ciao a tutti.
Hi everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.